Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we are diving into a really fascinating economic puzzle. We're going to look at how a national safety net, something built with the absolute best of intentions, somehow accidentally sent massive shockwaves right through an entire country's workforce.
So it really forces us to ask a totally counterintuitive question. How exactly does a safety net actually slow down economic growth? I mean, usually we think of welfare as the glue holding an economy together, right? But as you'll see in this specific scenario, the exact opposite happened.
To make sense of this paradox, we've got to start with Aswesuma. This is Sri Lanka's official social safety net program. In theory, it's supposed to be the compassionate bedrock of social welfare, specifically designed to step in and provide crucial financial support to those who are truly vulnerable.
All right, moving right into Section 1, welfare as a political weapon.
The sources highlight a really stark contrast between what Aswesuma was intended to do and its historical reality. Instead of strictly supporting populations in actual need, previous administrations, specifically the UNP and SLPP governments, reportedly leveraged the program to secure votes, so it essentially morphed into a tool for political leverage rather than just being a targeted safety net.
And when funds are handed out based on political utility instead of actual economic necessity, well, you get a pretty predictable result. Aswesuma was reportedly given to people who didn't truly need it. This created a demographic that was drawing benefits from the economy without actively contributing back into the workforce.
Which brings us to Section 2, the labor market shock.
This situation triggered a very precise four-step domino effect. Step 1. Those untargeted payments created a massive disincentive to work. People simply didn't feel the need to enter the labor market. And that directly caused Step 2. A severe national labor shortage. Naturally, with fewer people willing to work, Step 3 hits hard, skyrocketing labor costs. Businesses were basically desperately bidding for a limited pool of workers. And finally, Step 4. All those rising costs shrank business margins so drastically that investors actually started withdrawing their capital entirely.
It's wild, because what started as untargeted welfare rapidly compounded. It aggregated the broader economic problem in the country. The safety net wasn't just failing to catch the vulnerable anymore, it literally transformed into an economic anchor, actively stalling national growth by completely disrupting the labor market.
Let's jump into Section 3, formalizing the economy.
This brings up a really fascinating political dynamic noted in our sources. People who supported previous governments and who were relatively quiet about past misuses are now criticizing the current NPP government's handling of the program. But as this quote points out, the new administration is attempting a fundamental shift. They are trying to formalize the informal economy by bringing everyday transactions directly into the official banking system.
So tactically, what does this actually look like? Well, it's basically a three-pronged strategy. First, they're moving informal transactions into the banking sector. Second, they're launching programs to popularize QR payments. And third, by getting all these everyday transactions officially on the books, they can use that formalized economic data to accurately identify the genuine beneficiaries.
The ultimate goal of all this formalization is actually pretty clever. By relying on concrete economic activity data, the government can theoretically bypass those historical political biases we talked about, because the data ensures support actually reaches those who truly need it. And this directly targets the root cause of that massive labor market shock we just analyzed.
As we wrap up this explainer, this whole scenario leaves us with a seriously high-stakes question, one that extends way beyond just Sri Lanka. How can modern governments balance providing an absolutely necessary social safety net without accidentally discouraging workforce participation? I mean, it's a delicate tightrope walk between compassion and economic reality, right? Definitely something to think about. Thanks so much for tuning in.